Tim's News Explosion. 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 Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another Tim's News Explosion on this Monday, the 27th of June, 2022. We are live on the Wilmsfront YouTube, D-Live and Odyssey channels, as well as the Interactive Entropy software, where you can send me a direct question, or even better yet, send through a super chat. Hello to all the regulars in the live chat, Kesho, Margot, and Pete. It is just after 8:30 p.m. here in Melbourne, Victoria, where our decline in freedom is now bipartisan. Liberal opposition leader Matthew Guy, if you can call him an opposition leader, ever since he expelled Bernie Finn from the party and forced Tim Smith into retirement from Parliament. Matthew Guy now says "me too" to pretty much all of Dan Andrews' cultural Marxist identity politics, and as in the past week, helped pass his anti-free speech bills. So this past week in the Victorian Parliament, the Liberal and National parties helped pass the Nazi swastika ban. So we had Dan Andrews bragging about it on Twitter here. In our state, nobody has the right to spread racism, hate, or anti-Semitism ever. That's why last night we passed legislation to ban the Nazi symbol, and now it's the law. And so you can see the past legislation. All the past legislation is on the Victorian government legislation website. So it's legislation.vic.gov.au. And so its official name is the Summary Offences Amendment Nazi Symbol Prohibition Act 2022. And so it comes into effect 6 months after the passage of this bill. And so the penalty is 120 penalty units, which is around about $22,000, or 12 months imprisonment, or both. And in all the government legislation, it defines what the various things are. So it says that the Nazi symbol means the Hakenkreuz, being a symbol of a cross with an arms bent at right angles in a clockwise direction. So it's the purpose of that is to distinguish it from the Hindu swastika. And so it goes through all of the various parts, how it's still allowed for educational purposes, such as fair or accurate reporting, or in opposition to fascism, Nazism, or neo-Nazism. And it says here, subsection 3, a person does not contravene subsection 1 if the Nazi symbol is displayed on a person's body by means of tattooing or other like process. So the Vanilla Gorilla, who's one of the senior members of the National Socialist Network, who recently got a swastika tattoo on his chest, he'll be okay legally if he takes his shirt off in public, though there'll probably be a lot of people quite intimidated by what's on his chest. Now, as I've already covered this legislation that how come the hammer and sickle is still legal, or the ISIS flag, those symbols are also responsible for mass murder as well. Also, this week we had the Liberal opposition support Dan Andrews' Treaty Authority Bill, which is it creates a statutory authority to help Victoria have a treaty with Indigenous Victorians, i.e. a treaty with itself. Tim Smith crossed the floor to vote against it. And we also had the Liberal opposition commit to the Dan Andrews amendment to the Crimes Act, that people who engage in conduct that is grossly offensive to community standards of respectable conduct. This replaces the common law offence of outraging public decency. So this legislation is being passed in response to Richard Pussy filming dying police officers on the Eastern Freeway back at the, I think it was April 2020, when those four police officers were killed on the Eastern Freeway. So the maximum penalty for this offence will be 5 years imprisonment. Now, Dan Andrews and his Attorney General said, that'll only be applied in, very rare circumstances. Though, as if we're going to believe him and his Attorney General, because it is entirely subjective what grossly offensive to community standards of acceptable conduct, because obviously, to a lot of Dan Andrews supporters, they're grossly offended by lots and lots of things. The week finished off with Dan Andrews losing 4 of his cabinet ministers who are retiring. So Martin Foley, the health minister, he is retiring. He won't be missed. The Deputy Premier, James Merlino, Mini Merlino, as he has been nicknamed, also Mini Me, because he was filling in for Dan Andrews when he had that broke back at the beginning of 2021. Martin Bakula, the jobs, industry, precincts and gaming minister, he is retiring. And also Chris Lilly is retiring his Lisa Neville character, who was playing the police minister of Victoria. But staying on is the treasurer, Uncle Fester, Tim Pallas, and the new deputy premier is Transport Infrastructure Minister Jacinta Allen, who is also from Dan Andrews' socialist left faction, normally in Labor's leadership roles. One comes from the left faction and one comes from the right faction. But Dan Andrews wanted Jacinta Allen as Deputy Premier, and people from the right, Uncle Fester, Tim Pallas and Martin Bakula, supported her, and so she got the job there. So Dan Andrews, his power has increased even further, and he's just got a pay rise. So Dictator Dan has even more yes men and women around him, or should I say yes people. And also have to remember there's still no internal democracy in the Victorian Labor Party because of the Adam Somnariak branch stacking story that saw on 60 Minutes that saw him kicked out of the party. We also saw on Friday afternoon Dan's biggest online fan, PR guy, say that his name was Jeremy Maluta. he unmasked himself in an interview with Labour stooge Friendly Geordies. This is a screenshot from the interview, and they I'm not sure who. Well, it was broadcast on Friendly Geordie's channels, so I guess it was a joint decision by them to put a watermark over Jeremy's face, which says Avi Yemeni threw a chopping board at his ex-wife. I assume that they did this so Avi couldn't use the footage. Though James Newbury, difficult nerd on Twitter, found an unwatermarked photo of a PR guy here and linked to a story from 2015, because the only other online information that showed up about a Jeremy Maluta was a discontinued ABN, which was under the name of Jeremy Hewitt Maluta. But a man called Jeremy Hewitt, he was interviewed by Yahoo News in 2015 about that he'd copped a drenching on a Melbourne train after asking a woman to turn her loud music down. Says he did nothing to instigate the attack, and he decided to make a video on it. So obviously Jeremy is quite old. This is a screenshot from the video that he took here from a screenshot, and I'll put that Yahoo News article in the show notes page so you can watch the video for yourselves. Now, Avi Yemeni said on Twitter that I have no legal action against a Jeremy Maluta, so I'm not sure why he's crowdfunding Victoria Police. This sounds like a potential case of obtaining property with deception. Oh, and do I trust the fall guy? I'll need more evidence than PR guy's dishonest word for it. If it's him, I won. He outed himself after my legal action, and we'll find out his actual connection to the Labor Party and Dan Andrews soon enough. If it isn't him, we'll soon know. But I'm sus when nothing shows up when you Google his name. Nothing. And Avi was on Credlin tonight on Sky News, and he said, watch this space because his research team, as he calls them, is uncovering more information about, well, Avi. He left Peter Credlin guessing. He just said he'll have more information. So the Age article here, if I go back to it here, it says that the Age and the Herald spoke on the phone with a man purporting to be Jeremy Maluta, who provided identifying documentation and images proving he was the user of the account. So this masthead confirmed he was the user of the account. Maluta would not reveal personal details such as where he worked or lived. He wanted to maintain his privacy. I'm just a normal everyday person. I don't want to be a celebrity. This has meant being really careful about what I put online. Well, the PR guy has certainly when it comes to defending Dan, has gone all out, calling people who disagreed with Dan's pandemic management as traitors. So certainly what PR guy has put online has been basically, well, holding Dan up to be some sort of king god who should never be questioned. So the Age goes on to say, to confirm Maluta was the account holder, the Age and the Herald independently found a phone number this masthead suspected was connected to Maluta and called it. Maluta called back shortly after and on request provided a form of photo identification with some information obscured. Now, if it is, if PR guy is this Jeremy Maluta, and he's just a random ordinary guy, then that's pretty sad that just this random person has spent spent 2+ years, so much time online, just shilling for Dan Andrews, basically posting, that he's the best politician ever, holding him up as some godlike figure who can do no wrong, or as many people suspect, could be others involved in the PR guy account. Could it be multiple people? As a lot of us in the nationalist movement suspect that the Slack Bastard account, which has doxed various patriots and nationalists over the years, is multiple people. But on to better news, or should I say inspirational news, and that is Roe versus Wade, which was a judgment passed down in 1973, which invented a right to abortion in the US Constitution. It was based on an invented right to privacy that the Supreme Court says was in the 14th Amendment Equal Protection Clause. So the Supreme Court case that has struck down Roe versus Wade, and another decision, Casey versus Planned Parenthood in 1992. So the decision to uphold the Mississippi law, which banned abortions before 14 weeks, that was a 6-3 decision. So Samuel Alito, Amy Coney Barrett, Neil Gorsuch, Brett Kavanaugh, John Roberts, and Clarence Thomas. They were in the minority, and the 3 Liberal justices, Elena Kagan, Sonia Sotomayor, and Stephen Breyer, because Ketanji Jackson hasn't taken her seat yet. They were in the dissenting, but John Roberts, he didn't agree with overturning Roe versus Wade. And Clarence Thomas, who's probably the most traditionalist justice on the Supreme Court, he wrote in his concurrence, for that reason, in future cases, we should reconsider all the court's substantive due process precedents, including Griswold, Lawrence, and Oberfell. So Griswold versus Connecticut, that was a decision which said that the right to privacy, it struck down a Connecticut law which prohibited married couples from using contraception. Lawrence versus Texas was the decision in 2003 that struck down sodomy laws throughout the United States, and Overvell versus Hodges in 2015 legalized same-sex marriage in all 50 states. Just like there's no right to abortion in the US Constitution, there is no right to sodomy, same-sex marriage, and, well, there is no the constitutional constitutional protection against the state making whatever it wants illegal. I mean, heaps of recreational drugs are still illegal, yet the Supreme Court hasn't struck that down. Prostitution is still illegal in most of the United States. Now, so this will mean that with Roe versus Wade struck down, abortion laws will be now be set by state legislatures in each of the 50 states. So states like California and New York, they'll still have abortion on demand. Even I haven't looked at all that, but they'd probably model themselves after the Victorian legislation, allowing it up until birth if enough doctors sign off on it. But despite most baby killers living in states which will continue to allow them to kill babies, they're still mad as hell, and this is one of them here.
Get angry! This is atrocious! This is war on women! How fucking dare the Supreme Court do this shit? Fuck you, Kavanaugh! Fuck you, Gorsuch, for lying under oath when you were confirmed, saying that you believed that this was settled! Women will die! But as long as it fits your Christian goddamn narrative, it must be correct! White women of privilege will still have access after their senators fuck them! Poor working mothers will not! Young women who are victims of sexual assault will not! Women who found out that their child is not viable in the third trimester will not! And who the fuck knows what's gonna happen ectopically, because half you men prove that you don't know what an ectopic pregnancy is! How do I have less rights than my mother? Not everybody believes in your sky daddy! Not everybody believes in your cloud papa! The fact that you tied religion to your decision is pathetic! Rolling back the clock on women's rights and bodily autonomy is pathetic! You fucking conservative cunts love fetuses! You love fetuses! You are pro-birth! You are pro-amniotic sac because fetuses can't talk and they can't vote against you. But they make a good narrative for your fucking re-election campaigns! Pathetic! This will never stop abortions, ever! It stops them from being safe! It stops women from dying from them! It stops women from having back alley abortions! Or throwing themselves downstairs! All you did was hurt women! Women of color! BIPOC women! Minority women! Women who are in poverty! Women who have to make a horrifying decision of their life versus the fetus! Most of the time it's a clump of goddamn cells! Cells! So women get to relive their sexual assaults for life! Or are tied to their assailant! You care more about your damn guns than you do a woman's life! Proof! Every damn day! FYI! There are children in the foster care system that you fucks won't adopt! So please tell me how you are pro-life! You are I get my way! I pray you never get another restless night's sleep in your life thinking about what you did to women! This is not over, not by a long shot! How dare you! Karma does not forget, and she may take some time to come back around, but she will get to you. Not on my watch, fuckers!
So, delivering it in a really angry voice like this, she basically spouted all of the pro-abortion talking points, and I've got Lady of Shallott's a comment up on the screen. I guarantee this woman was pushing the vax mandates, and yes, my body, my choice is back in vogue, even though it was suspended for basically 2 years. This is one of the various hypocrites. David Leavitt said, "Enough is enough, make vaccines mandatory," and then saying that the only person who should have control over your personal medical history decisions is you, not politicians, you. Now, you saw her make the argument that, oh, this won't end abortion. I guess she's implying the states that planning on make it illegal, it'll just end safe abortions. What is it? That argument is basically that. So you're saying that, what is it? It's like saying that, well, murders are going to take place. So what's the point of making it illegal? It just means there'll be no safe murders. And of course, even though now a lot of liberals and progressives and cultural Marxists now know what a woman is again, don't forget the birthing people.
Just a reminder, because it seems like everyone needs it, not just women get abortions. People with uteruses get abortions. Trans people get abortions. Trans men, non-binary people, people of all genders get abortions. Love you.
Yes, and both of those videos were published by the libs of TikTok account, which a lot of the mainstream left, the main reason they hate this account is because it's just amplifying what libs are saying, the quiet parts out loud. Now, I mentioned all the Supreme Court justices, which way that they voted, but there was another justice that Twitter was triggered by. There's the new edit of the Supreme Court justices based on the way that they voted. Justice Dankula said, "If you all don't pipe down, I'll make women illegal," and also said that "good morning, court is in session, sluts." And people actually believe that Justice Dankula was real. Ash said the fact that this man is on the Supreme Court and tweeting things like this, unprofessional, comical, this man is the reason that women will die. And obviously it says that Justice Dankula used to be Count Dankula. So it says SCOTUS Supreme Court of Uterus Squad, bullshit, and baby defender. And replied to Biden's condemnation of the decision. "We were careful in our decision, Mr. President." And yes, but Joe Biden put out this video message talking about how Roe versus Wade tipped the scales of justice, and how it was taking away a constitutional right.
It was 3 justices named by one president, Donald Trump, were the core of today's decision to upend the scales of justice and eliminate a fundamental right for women in this country. Make no mistake, this decision is a culmination of a deliberate effort over decades to upset balance of our law. It's a realization of an extreme ideology and a tragic error by the Supreme Court, in my view. The court has done what it has never done before, expressly take away a constitutional right that is so fundamental to so many Americans that had already been recognized. The court's decision to do so will have real and immediate consequences.
Oh, I'll get it back up on the screen here. And now, what Biden said just this week is completely different to what he said when he was a US Senator in 2006.
I do not view abortion as a choice and a right. I think it's always a tragedy. And I think that it should be rare and safe. And I think we should be focusing on how to limit the number of abortions. And they ought to be able to have a common ground and consensus as to do that.
And as Lady of Shalott said, well, he is a talking vegetable now, but he wasn't back then. And well, he is his cognitive decline is so bad that he has basically written out full well, not just talking points, but walking points. So he showed this to the camera. So offshore wind dropped by a sequence of events. You enter the Roosevelt room, say hello to participants, you take your seat, press enters, you give brief comment, press departs, you ask Liz Schuler, President AFL-CIO question. Note, Liz is joining virtually to actually say she's not in the room. You thank participants there. So yes, they have to spell it all out for him there. And he was asked about his cognitive decline by the TikTok guy, John Bernard Korowitz, earlier this year.
Joe, I'm going to get straight to the point. You're 78 years old. You're all over the place. Do you have dementia?
Yes.
Well, okay, this might be a bit personal, but does Jill wipe your ass, or are you on the nappies?
Well, you're being a wise guy with me a little bit, and I understand that's your job.
There is a war going on. Does Putin know about your condition?
Well, I didn't have to tell him that. I've spoken about that. He knows that.
Okay, Joe, but how do you plan on uniting Ukraine?
There was no way we were ever going to unite
Ukraine. I mean, excuse me, Iraq, Afghanistan.
I think that's enough. It might be his bedtime. Jill, can you come get him, please?
Now, as Biden in his most recent remarks said that it was the 3 Trump-appointed justices during his term of presidency, Amy Coney Barrett, Brett Kavanaugh, and Neil Gorsuch, who delivered the majority to overturn Roe versus Wade. And at Trump's rally on Saturday, he was thanked personally by Congresswoman Mary Miller.
President Trump, on behalf of all the MAGA patriots in America, I want to thank you for the historic victory for life in the Supreme Court yesterday.
And now, her spokespeople have said that she misspoke. She meant to say victory for right to life, but obviously it's the right to life for all lives, whether it be white life, black life, because a lot of black babies are aborted, and obviously this is a victory for babies, human life in general, and it certainly upset the abortion industrial complex. I mean, if you look at all the mainstream media articles that are being pumped out, even here in Australia, they're making out like abortion is something that is a regular everyday thing that women do, and omit the part that you have to have unprotected sexual intercourse for a woman to actually get pregnant. And they're talking about, oh, women will have to travel all over the country to get their much needed abortion now. And the US pro-lifers, same with the Australian pro-lifers. I mean, you saw that angry woman saying that, oh, you know, you don't care about a baby once they're born. That's not true. Many pro-life activists help women who have unwanted pregnancies once they give birth get up on their feet financially with accommodation, and many of them adopt as well. Adoption is not a dirty word. And one of the arguments, oh, you're forcing a woman to, give birth. Well, how do you think the baby gets out in an abortion? It comes out the same way it does during birth, through a woman's vagina. But the difference in an abortion, well, it's not a birthing, it's a deathing, because the abortion doctor kills the baby. Now, going on to, some very heartbreaking news. There was an anti-gay Islamic terror attack in Oslo in Norway. What happened is that at a Oslo gay bar, 2 people were murdered and 21 were injured. This is being treated as a terrorist incident. The killer terrorist shouted "Allahu Akbar" when carrying out this terrorist attack, and so Oslo Pride was cancelled. Which isn't that basically giving the terrorist a victory? By he was using terror to cancel a gay pride parade, and his terrorist act caused the cancel of the pride parade, which it was cancelled based on the clear advice and recommendation of the police. And this is obviously not the first terror mass shooting to happen at a gay nightclub. Obviously, there was the Pulse nightclub terror attack in 2016, where 50 were murdered in that gay bar there. Lady of Charlotte says diversity is our strength. Yes, it was another diversity event there. And also shows how the Western melting pot leads to bloodshed in many circumstances. All right, coming to the end of the show, and so to finish off, the World Health Organization had its emergency committee meeting regarding the monkeypox outbreak, and they decided that it did not constitute a international global health emergency, but another virus from the past is back, and they found some polio in the wastewater in London, and according to the UK Health Security Agency, the poos they found are genetically linked. So they sometimes find in the poo some polio based on people from overseas who've had the live polio virus and are shedding the live virus in their poo. So they're hunting down this that there could be a family that has polio in London, and so the UK Health Security Agency has declared a national incident, and this meme sums it up well. Hey, they're just not buying it with this monkeypox thing anymore. What do you think, sweet cheeks? Tell them we found polio in someone's shit. Yeah, so there's no confirmed polio cases in London, but yes, there's genetically linked poo. Lockdowns imminent. We had the blockade Australia people tried to basically cause gridlock in the Sydney CBD today, but of course the real outrage, of course, was that one of the motorists who was being held up just decided to go on their merry way, and so the blockade Australia people decided to stop him using the road to travel on. You can see the car coming through there, and yeah, they're so outraged, the blockade Australia people. How dare you travel on a road for cars, and they jumped on his car there. Now, in the state of Florida, Ron DeSantis, he signed into a law that if protesters are illegally blockading a motorway as part of a protest, if you keep on driving and hit them, then you won't be prosecuted. That's it from me tonight. I'll be back with a Wilms Front on Thursday evening, 8:30 p.m. Melbourne time on the Wilms Front channel. My guest will be Nick Patterson, who will be facing very serious charges in November of assaulting Victoria Police during the lockdown number 4 protests in May of 2021. If he's convicted, assaulting police carries a mandatory minimum of 6 months imprisonment. He has a young family, so a lot is on the line for him. So I'll be discussing that upcoming trial with him. He has already spent time in custody, and when he was released, was prevented for a while from speaking online because of bail conditions. And Trad Tasman Talk will be back to its regular time slot of Friday 6 p.m. on the Unshackled YouTube channel. Dewey De Boer is all better now, and he will be my co-host. He just got written up in by News Hub NZ today because they were triggered by one of the pro-life tweets that he made. So I'll be discussing that with him, and also keep an eye out for new reports from Tiger Mount with Richard Wollstonecroft, and also the next knowledge report with Andy Nolch, which publishing it's published on Andy's BitChute channel, but also you can access them on the Unshackled website as well. So everyone stay safe, stay sane, stay healthy, and stay warm. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on Thursday. Tim's News Explosion. 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 Tim's News Explosion.